Welcome, everyone. I'm Chris.
I'm Petrie.
And we are here to talk about the NWA.
We're the National Weather Association.
Yes, the National Weather Association.
We're talking about those fellas with attitude.
That's right.
Okay.
So much attitude.
So much attitude. And Eazy-E and Ice Cube and...
Yeah, I mean, they're tough. They're tough rap group.
Dogg.
Yep, Snoop Doggy Dogg and all them. But no, we're here.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Nah, me neither.
Cliff Compton?
Yeah,
Sure.
We're there all day for Cliff, but... Yeah, the National Wrestling Alliance. Now, we did a podcast about this, I believe, in like 2010. Me, you, and Tyler did it. We talked about where the NWA was.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was...
I think it was probably... speaks volumes of the NWA back in 2010.
Yeah, I mean, it was going nowhere fast. We were totally confused of who was involved. We figured out who the champions were, and there was like little independents associated with that. And it really wasn't on television around where we live here in Pennsylvania that we were aware of. Maybe the one local show might have been, but they didn't have like a national show. So, well, that's over now.
Yeah. And that was like years before the 7 Levels of Hate movie with Adam Pearce and Colt Cabana.
Yeah, that was like a year or two before that. And even then, that was groundbreaking. That was their chance to make something happen. But no, they didn't. They sat on their hands. And, Bruce Tharpe came in, didn't do anything. And now here we are.
Yeah. So
it's a new day, thank God.
I guess we kind of need to explain the situation of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I hate going back to talk about these guys.
Yep.
I guess we have to talk about Billy Corgan versus the NWA.
Well, yeah, I mean, it all came from, like, Billy Corgan having trouble with TNA or whatever. They had that whole debacle.
Right. And honestly, if you want to listen to it, Billy Corgan goes into a lot of detail on the Joe Rogan Experience. Just search for that. And honestly... that's a great side of the story because it's first of all, it's his side of the story, straight from his mouth. 10 minutes in, you get the whole story about what happened with him and TNA. And then he winds up buying the NWA. Yeah,
he buys it from Bruce Tharpe, so he owns the name of the NWA, the titles, the Paul Bosch library, everything associated with it. And he did that on October 1st of last year, 2017. And that was interesting. I'm like, well, hey, it can't get any worse.
No.
It really can't right now, this day and age.
And there was like a lot of questioning, well, do they really own it? Something happened with like WWE, they wound up having it. But nothing really came of that.
Nah, good luck proving that in court. I mean, that would just get drawn out and thrown out. I mean, that's what, 98 they did that whole thing, and that stunk. Yeah. So that's... I mean, Jim Cornette brought that up on his podcast. It was okay or whatever, but that's not going to hold up. Yeah. So now Billy Corgan, he owns this thing. He owns the NWA. Okay, he officially bought it. And that's fine, because he really wanted to buy TNA and improve it. And, some people say, well, he doesn't have a track record, or look what he did in ECW, not much. And, I'm pretty cool with him owning a wrestling promotion.
He's fine.
He had that other one that was on... I guess shortly on AMC or something or whatever. I don't know. It got canceled real quick.
He started the company in Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And that's where that whole,
he started AAW in Chicago.
Okay.
I believe that's what it was.
And it was just like, well, fans weren't, they weren't too... I mean, he doesn't really have a track record, I guess you could say, with having good...
Well, he started AAW, but then I think like TNA went knocking on his door, and he's just like, I really can't do both, so I'm just gonna sell it.
I guess.
Like, hey, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, that could have happened. It might have happened. I don't know. Maybe they ran out of money. So there's no real track record here yet.
They're still around.
Okay.
Billy Corgan's first company is still around, so I will give him that.
So there's just no real track record yet that fans can say, well, so we're kind of on, I can see why there's hesitation to get into it maybe, but Billy Corgan has used the internet to make this whole thing relevant again. It's
like he's watching Gary Vaynerchuk videos and just like, use the internet. I'm going to use the internet, and he has. Same way like WWE's using it.
Mm-hmm. It's very smart.
Incredibly smart.
And he's all over Facebook all the time with their NWA page. The website, I think, as well, he has stuff up. He has YouTube webpage. And they always have this segment called the 10 Pounds of Gold. And that's where how they made the debut of Tim Storm. Now, I remember you were like, Tim Storm's still champion. Oh, my God, Tim Storm is still the NWA champion. And there's
that was, honestly, and that was because it was under old ownership.
Exactly.
And I kind of was a little bit kind of like, oh, my God, Tim Storm? Like, really? Like, this was like, oh, God, this is TNA all over again.
Exactly. There was no direction. It was just like all those little small independents, running with the NWA again. Yeah. And it was just like, it's not on like a national, there's no national exposure. It's just yada, yada, yada. All that garbage is done now. I mean, Billy Corgan's going to work with some companies, but it's not like they have these small little companies working like as territories with the NWA. That's done.
Yeah.
It's all under one roof now.
Right. I mean, NWA, it was when Nick Aldis won the title. Mm-hmm. God, I love saying this. When Nick Aldis won the title, he didn't have that on an NWA show. Mm-mm. He didn't have that match against Tim Storm, some little rinky-dink barn with some independent company that started up 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. He had that match at CZW mm-hmm. Cage of Death, their biggest show of the year.
Yeah, and
are you kidding me? At that point, I'm just like, all right, I'm in, boys.
Well, it's intriguing.
What do you got to show me?
Because it shows you how like the NWA used to be, with the different big time territories, and like this is the real deal. This is the championship. This is the title in wrestling, and they're doing that again in a new modern era, and that's great.
See, I just like it's so radically different from what they've done in the last 50 years. Mm-hmm. They never would have stepped foot in the same state as CZW if they were running the.
Yeah, they weren't going to, Ric Flair wasn't going to do, like, be at a hardcore promotion like that.
No, not yet. Yeah, just being in a hardcore mm-hmm. promotion. Yeah. Not have a hardcore match, hardcore promotion. Mm-hmm. Like, is don't forget, there was an NWA World Heavyweight title defense at the King of the Deathmatch tournament in 1994. Mm-hmm. Dan Severn was champion. They mm-hmm. had it, like, right before the finals. Mm-hmm. So there's that. So it's not
unheard of per se. But
it's not so like it's not wild.
Yeah,
but like looking at when you watch the 7 Levels of Hate, you gotta have an idea of like what kind of management has been hanging around mm-hmm. the NWA, and just like they were not gonna hang out with CZW.
No,
just not. But Billy Corgan steps in. It's like, hey, we're gonna change titles from a guy who's had this belt for a year. We're gonna do this at Combat Zone Wrestling. One of their more notoriously violent pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, hey, man, let's do it.
Well, I like Billy Corgan because it's what I've said all along. It's someone that owns the company and that has a vision for the company.
Right.
And knows what they want to do with it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about his vision, too. Let's talk a little bit about his vision. Mm-hmm. All right, Nick Aldis is TNA.
Whoops. Radar. Boom. What are you doing there?
I owe somebody a quarter.
That dirty word.
When Nick Aldis became NWA World Heavyweight Champion, mm-hmm. okay, great. What's Tim Storm going to do? And then he starts feuding with that Josephus guy.
Yeah, because that all started like, they started with the 10 Pounds of Gold, and they explained who Tim Storm was, and they got you actually interested in who he was.
Right.
And it's been great. I've watched it on Facebook all the time. Like every time they have like a new video, I watch it. And then they built the first match from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, which I like. I thought it was like the only good promotion in the NWA at the time, back in 10, 9, whatever.
Yeah.
I like that. So I'm like, great place to start. It looks professional. Here we go. Tim Storm against Nick Aldis. Tim Storm wins the belt. And then this Josephus guy comes out of nowhere. He was like, I think, the second or third defense. And then he started getting under they made it look like, he's getting under Tim Storm's skin. He's coming after him. And then, they have House of Hardcore. I think that's when Nick Aldis, he just, I don't know if he wrestled.
Yeah, Dreamers promotion.
Yeah. They had a little thing there. And then, boom, they went to the CZW. He lost the belt. And then the Josephus, he wrestles Tim Storm in that other place we talked about.
Yeah.
Empty arena match.
But the fact they did that.
So whoever wins gets a title shot, and Josephus did win.
And this wasn't like, hey, this is like now that other place thing. It's like, no, we're just going to go here. We're just going to do this one thing.
Now we're not saying this is like the second coming of wrestling, but I mean now that like it's pretty funny.
It's better.
Yeah,
it's better.
And it's simply an internet promotion right now, and it's interesting. And people are interested. And I've heard talk. They make you want to believe and get excited about wrestling again. They make you interested in their characters. There's a purpose for each character. They brought Austin Idol out of retirement as Magnus's Nick Aldis' manager. So this is awesome. Now they're going to do a thing where Nick Aldis wrestles 20 different opponents in 60 days. I mean, that's what the NWA is about, defending the title all over the world. And they can say they've done that before with New Japan and Ring of Honor and that, but this is just
they have not done that in this millennium.
Well, yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, New Japan was like 5-6 years ago, but no one really knew about it. It was just so out of left field. But now it's like there's a reason, there's a purpose behind all of it.
And people know like New Japan now. They've got like
it's more popular.
It's way more popular in the States than it's ever been. Yeah, hands down.
It's a hot item now. So, I mean, Billy Corgan, he's making the NWA relevant again. He's actually making the NWA, like the other company says, great again. He's doing that. He's making this thing relevant, and I'm excited for it. And I've listened to him talk on Joe Rogan. I've listened to him talk on other radio shows and internet podcasts. He's talking about saying that there's going to be a roster, there's going to be a show, it's going to be an internet show, and he's going to have a roster of guys. So I'm interested to see who he's going to pick, what he's going to do, and how this is all going to look. So I'm excited for this. I mean, it's that knockdown, drag out. He said like that, brawler kind of style wrestling, that big man style. Yeah,
I like that.
There's room for that. Yeah. I think people are sick of that, constant back and forth, jumping, flying everywhere. People, it's okay to do a few matches, but when you start seeing every match, it's like, all right, I want something else. So that's something else you can get.
Right.
So I think it's great. I'm interested to see who else they're going to put on this roster, how this is going to unfold, when the first pay-per-view will be as well, how they'll build that up. I mean, there's a lot that's going to come from this. Now, I've heard this online. I've seen some articles, but I don't think there's really much truth to this. They're saying that they're talking to TBS and getting a TBS slot.
That'd be great.
I think that's just rumor right now. I don't really believe it, but I think let's just say hypothetically they did get that would be awesome.
Right.
Because wrestling hasn't been on TBS since 2001.
Well, how about yeah, absolutely. Well, you have a show on TBS, but then like immediately after, boom, it's right online. Mm-hmm. I want something to watch on the bus.
Yeah,
and I'll pay a subscription fee.
Yeah, there's like we were talking about on our last podcast. So much media out there, like internet media. So many different ways to watch wrestling now, and everybody's tapping into that. So that's the new way of the world. You're not just going to get people tuning in to like a 6:05 or Saturday morning.
Some people will tune in to the 6:05.
Yeah,
absolutely. You have some people to do that.
Yeah,
but more people, not everybody, but more people more than ever will watch it on their preferred device.
And I like Billy Corgan. He's not against working with other companies. I mean, the more they work together, the better off they'll be. I think it's exciting. I always liked the NWA. I always wanted to see the NWA belt put in a better position, put back on television again. I mean, people can say it's dead, yeah, whatever, but it's still going. It wasn't in the best shape. It hasn't been in the best shape. You could say since TNA, they did some stuff with it, but even before then, it was in bad shape. I mean, after
I did that 7 Levels of Hate movie.
Yeah,
sums it up perfectly. How
it does.
Bad shape.
I recommend watching that.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah. It's a great movie if you also want to hate on management.
Oh yeah, that one, the history of the NWA title, when I think Adam Pearce produced that. That was really good too. Watch those 2 DVDs. You'll get a whole perspective of the NWA. But NWA is wrestling. I mean, everything you could say evolved from that.
Yeah.
AWA came from it. The WWF.
ECW came from it.
Yeah, everybody's had an affiliation in some shape or form with it. So, I mean, it deserves to be around. And I think now is a better time more than ever to bring it back. So,
right, and it's, same thing with like the XFL, But here's I'm like, look, there's like a time limit on when things are nostalgic and when things you should just let die. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think the NWA was just too old. I think it's just a name that people, might recognize, might. Mm-hmm. If they could just call it something else, fine. That's fine.
Well, it's like when I was even watching that History of the NWA DVD, they were talking about how, Jim Crockett Promotions and WCW, that was the NWA, but they were saying, well, that's not true though. Like, towards the, the late 80s and 90s, there were still some territories. I'm like, yeah, but you could say that, but no one cares. Are you content with having a few shows in gyms and saying that's your NWA? That's embarrassing. Want more for your company and more for that belt. Come on, guys. And you can see why that management sucked and why it went nowhere for the last 15 years or whatever, since they've been done with TNA. I mean, when you have guys running that thing that aren't really putting an effort into it, and just doing the old status quo, it's going to suck. Mm-hmm. And it sucked.
It sucks, man.
Yeah, you guys failed abysmally in the past 15 years. You sucked. So now this is the time to revamp this thing, make people care, and it's exciting and it's awesome. Like the videos they do with Josephus, they make him like this weird cult kind of guy.
Yeah.
And his like manager, girlfriend, spiritual advisor thing going on. That's weird.
But
it's different.
It's weird, but it's entertaining.
Yeah, and it's somebody that you can kind of get excited about and say, hey, I'll tune in and watch him. I'm not saying he's the greatest technical wrestler of all time by no means, but it's something different, and it's another form of wrestling that people can enjoy. If you get sick of Ring of Honor, if you get sick of WWE or the other one, Impact, you can watch this, and then you can say, well, this is what I watch, and that's okay.
Look, if you just want like a new company, if you're just feeling like burned out on like one thing or another, if you don't like the style of one company, look, here's another option, and it's pretty accessible, which is nice.
It is. I'm interested just to see who the roster. Do you have any idea who you think might be on the roster?
I have no idea anything about the roster.
It's tricky because it could be anybody. I mean,
like who's like probably some like PWG. I think like maybe like Chuck Taylor.
It could be.
Orange Cassidy. A lot of those PWG guys, I think.
It could be. I don't know. They kind of seem like they want to stay away from the cruiserweight guys, though. I don't know. I
think Chuck Taylor's like I think a lot of those guys have grown up.
Yeah, so you could put him in that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real. They haven't emphasized the tag team division yet either. But that would be something I would really try to focus on because tag team wrestling in America is pretty much dead.
Yeah.
If you look at it, I mean, who's really around that you get excited about saying tag team, like a tag team match or tag team group or whatever, Tag team partners, there's nobody.
I got really excited when Gallows and Anderson came in the WWE, but that was because of their work in Japan.
Mm-hmm. It's everywhere else, you know. But there's not a lot of tag team wrestling being emphasized in the States anymore. I mean, they're really...
Minus like WWE.
I mean, do they emphasize it that much?
New Day, Usos... Sheamus and Cesaro have been together for a while. When they were in NXT, American Alpha, the Revival,
so it's slowly making
Enzo and Cass. Yeah, but that's WWE though.
Yeah.
But anytime those guys have been called up, those NXT guys, they just get squashed by Vince.
Yeah.
I think Vince kind of realized that okay, we kind of need tag team wrestling.
Definitely, I think it's definitely the core. It's the backbone, I think, of wrestling.
Okay. Well, I think I think Vince used to look at it as why am I paying twice the amount for one match?
Could be.
But meanwhile, it's kind of you're kind of getting more out of these performers.
Well, it's fun just to watch guys of similar styles work together.
The parts of Sheamus and Cesaro separately, but if you add them to they're worth more together than what they are separately.
Yeah.
Same thing with the New Day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of some. I mean, there's nobody really in Impact. I mean, it's OVE against LAX, and I'm so sick of that, and I could care less. In Ring of Honor, I really don't follow it that much, so I don't really know.
There was War Machine.
Yeah, they're in NXT now.
Yeah.
Young Bucks. There's a couple other teams,
but big in Japan.
Yeah, it's nothing that you're gonna say, oh my god, this is the tag team like place to be. No. I mean, maybe you could say NXT, the WWE, they're starting to revive tag team wrestling again, but who else would be really doing that? I don't think anybody else.
No, and really, I think there would be a market for it.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see them do those. They say they're still doing them with the Jim Crockett tag team tournaments, something close to that. They still sort of do that. They were saying I saw people online saying they still do that. But it's a small independence and stuff, and no one knows about it.
Right.
We want to see it on a big time, national media presence, national scale, somewhere on a, cable television network. So we'll see that, if the NWA will step it up with that. I think they could. And there's such a history of the NWA tag team titles.
Yeah.
So I think
it's an exciting time, man. And now that you have an exciting women's division too, let's see what Yeah, if they're not snapped up by WWE, who else you got? You got Leva Bates, you got Lufisto, you have Britt Baker, Ray Lynn, Jessica Havoc.
A lot of talent still out there.
Yeah.
I don't know, Angelina Love, she's still out there.
Yeah.
But see, TNA really revived, I think, women's wrestling back in 07, 8, 9. even 10 or so. But
I would say 10 was like the last really like good push.
Because you figure Bischoff and all them got involved, and that just all fell apart.
I think when like Dexter Mantel left.
Yeah, because that was his thing. He was making something really good out of that too. Yeah. And I don't know if he's even still in Impact or whatever.
No, I don't think he is.
But, I mean, it's just that was like our last podcast, in and out so quickly.
Yeah. I think when the last time I checked, like the knockouts, like air quotes, I think they had like 6, and like 4 of them were like on the mic. They were like announcers or interviewers.
They go through talent so quickly. I couldn't even tell you most of the knockouts, who's even left, who's there.
Right.
But so I'm thinking they should probably do the world title, tag team, maybe women's, cruiserweight.
You need a minor title, not a cruiserweight.
Television.
Title.
Television
title
would be good, or the United States. But
don't even call. Well, you come up with a new name.
You could.
Trying to spitball ideas. And you can't. Internet Championship. Ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, they could do something different. I think television would be good, but that was always like the backbone of the NWA. Great TV champions. Like Arn Anderson, Steve Austin,
Magnum
TA. Yeah. The list goes on and on, but that has a good lineage to it, so we could see. I'm excited for it though. It's so.
It's very exciting. If this was a stock, I'd be like, hey, buy this now.
Buy it quick. And Billy Corgan, he said he wants to take time, do it right, and just make sure it's a good product. And he's doing that. I mean, he's releasing these videos slowly. He's making a build up towards everything, and there's a rhyme and reason for everything. So Magnus is definitely the guy. TNA blew with him, as they did with so many other talents. He's getting redemption with this, in a way. It's good. He deserves it. He's earned it, Jeff Jarrett kind of screwed him out of TNA in a way. It was weird. But this, it's his time. So I think it's great he's a champion. I would like to see someone, of equal, stature to him go for that belt at a pay-per-view. Really build that thing up. But I haven't seen anybody yet. I don't know who they're going to pull out. Robert Roode would have been great for that.
Yeah.
And I think that was the Global Force main event for that first pay-per-view was those two battling for the belt. Which makes sense. I mean, that's
right, absolutely.
That whole mess. But yeah, the NWA, they're on the right track. They got the 10 pounds of gold. Usually comes out once a week. Sometimes, little snippets from it come out after the official video comes out. There's it could be from anywhere for 1 to 2 videos a week, but it's good and it keeps your interest and it
keeps enough.
Yeah, it doesn't give you too much where it's oh my god, get this off. It's good. So I'm excited. It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan for the NWA. It's definitely worth a watch, and it's free. It's completely free. You don't have to order anything, buy anything. Right now. I mean, there's going to be probably, I'm sure, touring and all that eventually, but it's a good start. They're not doing that $10 a week pay-per-view stuff. They're doing the internet. This is the way to go.
I am not paying $40 a month.
That was offensive. Yeah. I remember when that came out. I'm like, really? You want me to pay $10 for your product that it doesn't even look that good? I mean, after that, after the buyout and the invasion, all that, I'm like, really?
Well, plus, they had no content.
No.
That's the problem. $10 a month for the network. Yeah,
sure.
That's fine. Okay, so you're not going to get Raw, you're not going to get SmackDown, but you have so many other options. Where it's okay, that's fine. I'll give you that.
And they could have done that if they were smart back then, but they didn't know. They didn't that.
It was new.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
They were just trying to survive. But see, that was the problem with them from the get-go. They were always just living on a prayer, barely just making it. Right. Where this is you have confidence that Billy Corgan is going to make something of this company.
How many retailers screwed up misusing the internet?
Oh my god.
That's why Amazon is up at their shares are 1,400.
Yeah. And now look at it, it's just
right. When people say they're going to do their Christmas shopping, they're online. They don't say they're going to go all these individual sites. Guarantee you, every time they say I'm going to do all my Christmas shopping online, guarantee you, 99 times out of 100 they go straight to Amazon.
Very true. eBay could have been the next Amazon if they would have gotten away from that auction stuff. I think the auction, that's their shtick, but after a while you get sick of auctions, you just want to buy. Right. Why can't you just buy? Which they kind of are, but they're just stuck in that auction thing. But
which the reason why we sidetracked is look, TNA screwed up using the internet. NWA commits to the internet, they'll be fine and do it right.
Well, here's a question for you. How do you think the first show's going to look? Like, let's just say, like, okay, this is what our first internet show's going to look like with the roster. You know, what kind of ring will it look like, you think? Do you think they'll use the old NWA style set?
I think they are, but I think it's going to look like one of those awful Raws at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a slow...
Yeah, but then it's going to, like, build... Because it's all internet. Mm-hmm. It's all going to be internet. I don't even know where could they film.
Well, if you look
if you give me, like, a town, I could be like, maybe. Yeah. I like New York, okay. Chicago, all right. L.A., okay. Cincinnati, Orlando, no. That's. I love Orlando, but that town's been tapped.
Yeah, it's trying to think. You know,
spoiled, blasé is what I would say to describe Orlando crowds.
Yeah, you could say that. I'm trying to think what the like, 'cause remember Lucha Underground, they film like that underground style, that look, like a Fight Club kind of look. It's not going to look like that, but I think like a studio, you know, like a TNA kind of studio-ish could look like that.
Maybe like a bowl. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe with like decent risers. I think maybe like decent seating that won't like piss a whole lot of people off.
Yeah, they're not going to do the Cow Palace right off the bat. You know, something like that.
Or the Orleans.
Maybe, yeah. It's like, I don't know. That's a little out of the league.
Look. If places want wrestling, they would vie for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where the actual NWA is actually located, like their office.
I think Chicago.
I don't know.
Look, that's where like Corgan's from.
Might be. I don't know. It doesn't really say, but it's interesting to see where this is going to go. It's interesting to see the roster, the belts, the look, the feel. My only concern would be is if they're just going to keep stringing along a little bit too much, where it's like, all right, there's still no roster yet, there's still no home base yet, we're just kind of still shoestringing off the promotions. You know, if it's like that in the summer, it's going to be like, all right, Billy, time to get this thing rolling. And I know it takes time. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. But then if you're going to launch something, you got to have like that backup behind it. You got to say, well, okay, now, you know, 10 pounds of gold is going to keep going, but we're going to show you the first episode of NWA. Here we go. It's an hour long. Boom. So we'll see.
Start a Patreon or something.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how, I mean, you think they'll do like a Legends thing like TNA did? Which was kind of junky. That was so junky looking.
Well, if they are, like I always said this about the Universal title, the Universal title in WWE should legitimately be Universal. Yeah. That should be like your pickup. Like, look, we want to put the title on this guy, but we don't know what title. We want to put a title on this guy, but we don't know what to put on him. Put the Universal title on him. And let's just say Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose feuds with Seth Rollins. Yeah. And then Seth Rollins somehow, miraculously in 2018, feuds with Sting again. And then they have like a program. And then Sting's Universal Champion. Mm-hmm. And then Sting versus DDP. You know, because DDP is like, hey, you know, if you're champion, I can be champion. They start a feud too. And then like DDP, you know, winds up losing it on a fluke to Heath Slater or something. Then Heath drops it to Braun Strowman, and Braun and Brock get back into it again. That's what I always thought the Universal title should be. Mm-hmm. Legitimately universal.
Hopefully, like with TNA, you think they'll do a lot of title changes, or they'll just kind of ride the course? I think they're going to ride the course.
I think they're going to ride the course of. I think they're going to judge the temperature in the room.
Yeah, and it's a shame Robert Roode isn't available, because that would be the perfect heel to do that with. But you know,
I agree.
It's a little bit too late for Billy buying it for Robert, but he'd be a great guy to kind of ride with. But I just can't wait to see how this evolves, and I can't wait to see the first show, and I hope they get on television. Mm-hmm. I hope there's a good roster. How many guys do you think should be on the roster? 80's too much, I think.
Yeah.
At least for now, like from the get-go. But
for now?
30, 40.
For like what, an hour show?
Yeah, probably 30 or so.
30 would be good.
That's what TNA kind of did for a while. They had 30-ish, and they kind of built up.
If you go to 2 hours, maybe 50. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then again, an hour is fine. An hour a week is fine. The Walking Dead just gets an hour. Yeah. Breaking Bad gets an hour.
If they do online, they can do as long as they want, though. That's the thing, too. So if they're online...
But then again, don't burn me out.
Yeah, don't bring too much.
Yeah.
I think they're going to stay away from the junior heavyweight, cruiserweight kind of group. I don't think we're going to get that.
I think we are going to, because they have to use what's available. But I think you're right. They definitely probably are going to tone down the style. Not the kind of guys, but they're going to tone down that style.
Yeah, you're not going to get, I think, like the lucha libre, Japanese cruiserweights flying around. You're not going to get that kind of style. I think it's going to be definitely tough guys, rugged.
A lot of striking.
Maybe Southern type wrestling too. I think that old school style. I think we'll get some of that too.
I think we're gonna. I'd love to see that. I'd like to see when the day when Billy Corgan decides, all right, we're gonna push the envelope with this angle. I want to see that angle.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you want to shock me? You want me to tune in? What do you got?
Well, I think we'll kind of end up getting like a 7 levels of hate main event where it's like tough. Grimy, brutal steel cage match. I think we'll get that type of steel cage match again, where it's not just a spot fest and just shock value junk. It's a hard spot brawl.
Something like someone is jumping off of something.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get like a tough brawl. It's gonna be good, like the old NWA type of cage matches, back in the '80s. I want to see that again. Right. I think I love this again. I quit in the cage again. Yeah, it'd be great. You don't get that anymore. So I think. If they can bring the nostalgia feeling back with a new twist, like for today's wrestling fan, I think it'd be great. Mm-hmm. Sky's the limit here. We'll just see what happens.
It really is an exciting. Buy in on the NWA.
Yeah, it's not like Global Force where it's just like a whole. We were definitely fooled. A lot of people weren't. I know, like Eric Santa Maria, he would talk about it, and he'd say, "Yeah, it's not going to work," and I believe. I thought, I always trust his judgment. He was right on it, and a lot of other people too were like, we've had on the podcast before, and we, people we talked to online that are part of our group, they were, some of them were buying into it. They're like, yeah, okay, let's see what really happens, and I don't see that happening where it's like Billy Corgan just talking out of, different sides of his head or whatever, just saying that, it's going to be this way, that way, and just promising more than he can deliver. I don't think so. No, he's taking the slow approach. He's not pulling a Jeff Jarrett where it's like, oh yeah, ask me the greatest thing, and
they wind up selling gold.
Yeah, I mean it's being like a fake sideshow act. And just that was horrible.
That's it precisely. Yeah.
So I mean it's going to be good. It's definitely worth a watch, and we're excited for it. Also, we're excited for all the guests coming up, and our 100th episode.
And the 100th episode's coming up.
We don't know what it's going to be like yet.
No.
But it's
I got an idea what I want to do for the 100th episode.
We got to figure out how many hours we want to do. Do we want to 1, 2?
Oh, honestly, the 100th episode, unlimited.
Unlimited, okay.
It's I know what me and Phil want to talk about.
Okay, and there's so much. We got to have all the guys on. Phil, Tyler, me, you. I don't know, whoever else. Probably Dave. Dave Lesko, we had him on.
Yo, Dave! I'm sorry.
Yeah, come on.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We'll have him on maybe again.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
We'll have some maybe special guests and stuff. So we'll make it work.
Yeah.
But that's coming up. We're gonna have Eric Santa Maria back on again.
Love you, Eric.
Yeah,
I missed you.
Great guy. I know.
Yeah.
Talk to him. We're probably gonna have Big Donnie back on.
Great guy.
North Carolina Wrestling and $5 Wrestling star.
Yeah.
I'd like to get Hank Hudson back on. We never had him on.
We never had him, yeah.
We wanted to have him on. I want to get him on here,
A lot of local guys I think we should have.
Yeah, local guys.
We should definitely highlight. So I personally, I like to have, Nasty Nick.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to have DK Abel. Maybe, you think we'd like to have a Sniper?
Sure. Whoever we can get.
We could do Sniper.
I'm glad to have anybody on the show. Any pro wrestler who wants to come on our show is welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, hey guys, who's that guy who used to post on our page all the time? Hammerstone?
Alexander Hammerstone. Yeah, we should have him on too.
Yeah, look guys, you post in our group all the time. I like him.
Yeah,
I like his. He's got a good look. He moves really well. It's just like, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. Hey, why?
Yeah.
We're open for discussion. We can talk. We can talk about training routines, all that stuff.
Right. Absolutely.
Squat until you drop. I wish I could squat better, but I can't. My back's too hurt. I could never squat.
You gotta squat like what?
I know.
Gotta squat like what?
Yeah. Anytime I put that bar over my back, it just hurts, man. The next day, it's not because it's like my legs hurt and that's normal, but my back just hurts too bad. I can't do it. I can't do the heavy squat.
Yeah, probably just don't do a heavy squat. Just the squat.
Just light, yeah. I do free squats a lot too. Try to build reps.
Yeah, use the Hindu squats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually do a couple. I do a lot after a run, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. We're going to have a lot of great guests on here. We're going to make this show fun. And, you know, it's always fun to us, but as long as you're enjoying it, that's what matters.
God, man, I just love wrestling. I really fell in love with it all over again in the last year.
I mean, some people say I'm maybe like be obsessed with it, but I watch it all day. I mean, like, I'm the kind of person that's watching a background, you know.
I'll talk about it all day.
Yeah, me too. I text, talk. You know, I'm watching like a TV or a DVD in my player, then I'm watching a match on YouTube. I just love it. I can't get enough of it. Has it been the best in the last 15 years? Maybe. In some ways not.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the timeline of pro wrestling as we've known it, there's always going to be good wrestling. There's always going to be bad wrestling. There's been a golden age of movies, TV, music, what have you,
Mm-hmm.
But good media will always exist along with the bad.
Mm-hmm. And there's arguments to say what was the greatest era of wrestling. I mean, well, it depends what you experienced, you know.
Right.
Some people say it's the 60s. Some people say it's the 70s.
I say it's now.
Yeah, some people say
look, we have like such amazing talent. How can we not say it's now? Is it overproduced? Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Oh,
look, that's the con to that side. For every like flippy do nonsense, you have Nakamura, you had Daniel Bryan, you had Punk, you have Cabana. You know, I'm trying to think of modern guys like Ambrose and Rollins. They're still interesting. You have a lot of great guys down in NXT. So,
yeah, there's good wrestlers all over the country.
Yeah.
You just got to find it. I mean, some people could say
good wrestlers.
You know what I'd like to see though? A documentary. I know it's a little bit off topic. A documentary about 70s wrestling. That's never been done. No one talks about the 70s like a documentary just about 70s wrestling from all, you know, top to bottom. Because you see a lot of it, like the history. I remember that one that was like, it came out like 97, the history of wrestling on A&E.
I love that.
They totally skipped like the whole 70s.
They did skip the 70s.
Like what happened? Like,
and we went from 1930 to 1990.
Yeah, it's like what happened here? I'd like to see that. I think that'd be good. But yeah, there's a lot of content we're going to talk about. A lot of shows coming up. We still have to talk about the Invasion, the booking of the Invasion. I like to do a tribute to Tom Zank because he passed.
Oh my God, we didn't do anything for Tom Zank.
We didn't. How dare us?
Oh,
how dare us? We were bad fans.
Yeah, honestly.
So I'd like to do a show for him because I really like Tom Zank. I thought he was a good wrestler. Liked his interviews. He just seemed like a legit guy, down to earth. It's a shame we didn't get to interview him. I tried finding him to get him on the show way before he was like sick or anything, but I never had any luck. I think he'd just be an interesting person to talk to because it's just like, you know, I mean, but I love to have Ole Anderson on here.
Oh,
that is the one person
he'd kill us.
No, he's not gonna.
Yeah, you would.
How's he gonna kill us?
I don't know, but will he?
I enjoy his shoot interviews so much because he's just it's so funny. He reminds me of like so many of my family members. They're just like, shut up, you dummy, come on. I was watching his shoot interview they did with RF Video.
Well, first of all, Rob Feinstein's an idiot.
Well, I remember the one part of it. He's like, Ole Anderson sitting there. He's like, why didn't Flair? It was about Ric Flair. It was like 1990, 91. What was he the champion of? And Rob Feinstein's like fumbling over everything. I'm like, nothing. And then Ole Anderson said, nothing, because it's true. He wasn't the champion of anything. There wasn't anywhere to go. There wasn't any territories. They're all gone. There might have been a few small independent territories. Yeah, like the one guy talked about the NWA history DVD or whatever. But no, there wasn't anything to tour. I mean, simple questions that any wrestling fan with any kind of common knowledge would know. Ole Anderson's like not putting you through some kind of like crazy test where you can't figure this out. That's what I don't get about his interviews. Like Rob Feinstein's having these interviews, and he doesn't know a lot of these questions and answers, and it's kind of silly. I'm like, why are you asking that? Whatever, I guess. But yeah, I'd like to get Ole Anderson on here.
Lord,
I think
I think a couple like legends.
Yeah,
like legends.
I think Ole Anderson's a legend. I love to have him on the show and talk about stuff.
That's one for example.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty. Are we going to WrestleCade? That's another question we'll have to figure out this year.
That's in November.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not going to Starrcade.
No,
because that's not Starrcade. That's just some kind of marketing campaign to hurt WrestleCade. But
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I think we wait to see.
We'll like rent a car or something. We'll get a hotel. We'll drive down.
Figure it out. Yeah,
I guess. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll put in the vacation time for that. That's before Thanksgiving, right?
Mm-hmm. Actually, no, it's the weekend, so it's like right after. Yeah,
right after Thanksgiving.
It's tough because it's like, what do you do? I have relatives in North Carolina we could go see, but I'm just saying, like...
Oh, so I'll get a hotel room.
I think it's like the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
So, like, we literally have to hit the road.
The worst time to travel.
With the meal, yeah. Still digesting the meal.
Yeah. We're eating mashed potatoes on the road, you know. I think the problem with it is, it's like the worst travel weekend to travel, besides, like, Christmas time. Yeah. So, rates are going to be ridiculous. It's going to be tough. If we're flying, if we're just driving, and weather too, that's the problem. November, sometimes dicey down south, right, through the mountains and all that. We got to figure that out. If not, we could go to that one before Mania.
You know, I'm getting so fed up with like not having a car. Mm-hmm. I might as well just like look. I just want to spend like $20,000. That's it. I'll put a down payment down on the rest.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking just like no. I set aside a lot of money. Like I live like minus $300 a paycheck. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's $600 a month for a payment.
You know, I think we should since we're celebrating the rebirth of the NWA, I think we should have NWA week. So we'll get former NWA stars, maybe current NWA stars. We'll interview them on the show, like we did $5 Wrestling. I think we should do that. That's our promise to you throughout this.
Well, one thing that's that Big Johnny interview. I cannot stress enough how awesome that was. But like just listening to him to talk about like wrestling. It was great.
And there's no reason why he can't be on NWA Week because he knows so much about it. He
grew up on it.
He lived
it. He was a part of it.
Yeah. So there's that's one person. We'll see if we can get some other former NWA stars.
Right.
Behind the scenes guys.
Or even like now because we have the PWX. They're not PWX now here in Pittsburgh. They're Fight Society. Mm-hmm. But hey, what was NWA Pittsburgh like?
We know we got to have on there we have to have Mark on for that. Mark loves the NWA, so we'll do that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I haven't talked to him, and I saw him once at a show in November.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll have him on too. We're gonna have a lot. Maybe we'll do 2 weeks of the NWA. I think that's what it needs.
Yeah,
because there's just too many guys.
NWA is it's too damn exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot. And it's great that we're excited about it again. There's a reason, They gave us a reason, and we're taking them up on it. There's actually a challenge there. I want to mention this too. Somebody I saw it on Facebook. It was from a website. They wanted to have Billy Corgan recognize Bobo Brazil's NWA title win. I don't know if that ever came to fruition or not, but the guy posted the video online during Christmas. He's sitting there making cookies and drinking hot chocolate. Explaining the whole history behind. Explain the whole history of the Bobo Brazil's title win, NWA title win. Now it wasn't really recognized, so they want to have Billy Corgan recognize that lineage. But don't know if that ever happened. I'll have to look into that. But
yeah, I don't know. That'd be great if it did.
Yeah. So that's our promise to you. We're going to do 2 weeks of the NWA. We're going to have former NWA wrestlers, fans, current NWA wrestlers if we can get a hold of them. On the show, so I think it'll be great.
We haven't talked about our WrestleMania 33 excursion.
Yeah, you guys gotta talk about that too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we want to have the ultimate guide. Look, if you've never done anything like this before, we want to cover all your topics from how do you plan getting a group of people together, committing, believing in yourself that you can do it. I have to sit down and tell people, look, if you want to go to WrestleMania, you have to believe in yourself that you can go. Because I've said that for years. I can't go because of this, because of that. No, my situation changed. First time I got some real money, I'm a good chunk of this money's going towards that WrestleMania trip.
Vince took your money, man.
That was great. I'll do it again. We are doing it again.
Yeah,
we're doing it next year for Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're still saving up for the inevitable Vegas Mania.
Yeah. It'd be neat if they'd had WrestleMania in Hawaii, too. I don't know if was it Aloha?
There's a travel on that.
Aloha Stadium, I think they have over there.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. And that's a new topic we should talk about, too, the Polynesian wrestling. I mean, that was around the 80s, and so there's a big lineage and heritage with that. So that'd be cool to talk about, too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, WrestleMania, I just don't have... I mean, for me as a wrestling fan, I have no desire. There's just nobody...
Man, you gotta go experience it.
I don't care. Like,
Dude, just go. You have to go. Well, I think.
What am I gonna?
Okay, but we're going to WrestleCade, so I can let you slide on. I can let you slide.
But like, what am I gonna experience that I could really care about? There's no one around.
What can you experience at WrestleMania weekend that you can't experience at WrestleCade? Probably just WrestleMania. Yeah, probably that's about it.
Because to me, it's like there's no one I want to see.
Have you been to a rock concert with 70,000 people?
No.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to turn. We might have to do Mania then.
I just have no interest. I don't care. To me, it doesn't mean anything anymore. There's no one there I really want to see. Everyone's old and retired or dead.
It's just a matter of going.
Yeah,
it's like
I don't want to sit through.
It's like going to see a Stones concert or the Beatles or something. You got to go to say like, oh yeah, I was there. You're looking at me like I'm insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
You just have to go.
I don't care about the WrestleMania moment, experience, or anything related to it. I'm like,
oh man, I just can't. I get chills just thinking about it.
Yeah,
it's like, man, I was there. You know, dreamed it, planned it, lived it. It was great.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Not your cup of tea.
I don't know.
No harm, no foul.
Just can't get into it. I'm sorry. I just never. I don't know.
That's okay.
It's like,
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. I think we need to wrap this up then.
Yeah, wrap it up. Great talk about the NWA. I'm excited. We're going to do more talks about the NWA. There's so much to talk about. It's just great. And I wish, honestly, they owned the rights to some of those big-time pay-per-view names.
No, they could come up with their own.
They can.
Billy Corgan's a creative guy.
He is. I think Starrcade would have been awesome, like the relaunch with that, but fortunately, that's... Well, I don't know. Yeah, Vince owns that, yeah.
That's just how she goes, boys.
Yeah, way of the road. I'm Chris.
I'm Petrie.
Good night.
Have a great night.